All right. So it says we're live. So let's pull this up. Looks like Gerbil's already back. He's like last. You're actually first. All right, Sashi. So welcome back. we're gonna continue this on. Sorry, everybody. We had technical difficulties, so we had to restart this thing. I know technology's great. Um, can if everybody can hear Sashi, can you tell me? Gerbil, can you hear Sashi? He's not answering. Let's see. Let's try something here. All right. Panther. Hey y'all. Yeah. Oh, I think it worked a little bit that time. I saw you pop up, so that's it didn't do that before. What I did is I hid you from the broadcast and then I pulled it back up. So maybe that did something. Okay, so we're gonna move on like everything's fine. And um, let's see here. So let's see. We already talked about how much you cosplay. Um, everybody's coming back now. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. So as we get ready, I'm going to ask you a couple of these other softer questions, and then we're going to get to the funny questions. Um, let's see. So a lot of people was asking, you know, this is kind of the point. If she said, he says, if she is on Wi-Fi, tell her to disconnect all other devices. Let's see. I think she's only got her computer up. Okay. Can you guys hear Sashi when she's talking? Comment down there if you can hear her when she's talking. That may have been it. Okay. So you guys can't hear her at all. Oh, you can hear, but not really. Okay. Very soft. Okay. You may have to try talking directly into the microphone, see if that helps some. It's pretty much the same. I don't know why. I wonder if it changed some kind of setting on your computer and made the volume lower or something. Let's see if I have something that I can change on here. Somebody says, I blame Mandy. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to continue on and we're just going to muddle through it. So there's one main reason that I kind of asked you on here, and that was the whole, I don't know if you remember that whole cosplay is not consent thing. Do you remember that? Um, that was kind of it was really a big nothing burger. It was like everything else. One or two people really got like super upset, and somebody said if you're on your phone, switch to talk through the earphones. I think she's on her computer. Yeah, she's just really soft spoken, guys. um, It's probably my fault because I'm an idiot. Somehow I've probably done something wrong. But
But could they hear earlier in the previous?
oh, it just fixed itself. Something happened just then.
Is it working now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you good now.
Oh, that's not me.
Huh? Something just happened. I did close out a box just then. Hmm. It says it's because you're a girl. Oh my gosh.
Ah.
So anyway, they had that whole cosplay is not consent thing,
Yes,
and
yes.
um, I didn't really know that much about it because I just kind of saw the tabloids of it and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of followed it a little bit on that. I'm not that big into cosplay, so I don't like follow news forums and all that stuff about it. But basically, they were trying to say that there was this epidemic of, and it's, I find it funny that it's always one sex that they're trying to say is super harassed. Because I'm like, if a dude's walking around with like a speedo on, there's going to be a couple of middle-aged women that's going to be like, ooh, every
um,
time.
no.
But so when you're cosplaying, do you see a lot of like jerks and people like that bothering people when they're cosplaying?
Um, Not really. I think the word epidemic is a bit of a stretch. Um, so I found that events in Cape Town versus events in Joburg are kind of different. Here at FanCon, on the Cape, because people here in Cape Town are pretty chill, but we also notice the demographics are different. That I'm just going to use the two as an example. So Rage is
Mm-hmm.
gamers, but it's 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 not for gamers, for geeks specifically. It's just for regular people that play games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're usually not familiar with cosplay. And when people get into these events for some or other reason, I don't know what happens to a person's brain, but they see a cosplayer with a prop, and they lose their minds, and they're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, and they want to see the prop. But instead of going to the cosplayer and say, wow, that's really cool, can I have a look at it? They just grab the thing out your hand. It
It's kind of
happened
like
to
a
me.
kid
Yeah,
almost.
but these are adults doing it, and
Yeah.
it happened to me. It's like I had to give people lessons. It's like, don't touch my shit,
Yeah.
because the fact is that you wouldn't go in the street and just grab a woman's handbag. That's essentially
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing. Going up to a stranger
Well,
and grabbing their private property. Um,
yeah, it's something that you work very hard on, so you like it even more.
well, that's the thing is that, and because of stuff like that, people's props have been broken. So that is a bit of a problem. But we found that it's mostly with people that aren't familiar with cosplay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now in Cape Town, I haven't seen much of it at all over here. I do have a friend who has been groped, but it wasn't at a convention. It was like different time, different place kind of thing. But
On
while
the
she
way
was
to it
in,
or something.
I think it was after the convention, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't in that location. It was somewhere else. I think she was going to do a photo shoot or something. And
Mm.
then some guy wants to take a photo with her, and then he grabs her butt. So it does happen, but it's not very frequent at all.
So
And
it's
we
never
do.
happened to you?
Um, I've never been groped in costume. Um, I've just had like props and stuff like grabbed out of my hands, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that would tick me off.
yeah, yeah. So that see, and I think the problem with cosplay is not consent. They focus on sexual assault or sexual harassment only.
Hmm.
That's all it seems to be about. Whereas for me, it's kind of don't touch stuff that doesn't belong to you. That's how
Yeah.
I see it. And that
Oh.
that goes for guy stuff. And I've had guys come to me because I judge competitions. A guy came to me and he was livid because someone just damaged his costume for him. It's just some stranger. I don't know what they did to it, but it happens to guys as well.
Okay. So it's never they've messed with your stuff. They've never really messed with you. Have people said things to you before inappropriately?
No, not that I can think of. Not.
I don't know. You look kind of tough though. I don't know if people just gonna.
Oh yeah,
bring right up to you.
I've resting bitch face, so people usually don't start trouble with me.
I could see that. I could see that. That's so funny. My wife is the same way. She'll make those faces sometimes, and it looks like she's ready to kill. And I'll say, "What's wrong?" She go, "Oh, nothing. Oh, I was just thinking."
What do you mean make face? This is my face. It's just like naturally that way. And then people are like, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" Nothing. This is my face.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's I could say that. I could say that because I'm looking at your picture right now. Your Miss Marvel picture. I'm thinking she could make that face.
No, I haven't had any issues like with strangers and stuff like saying weird things to me, and people really actually most of the time it's actually very polite and they want to take photos, or did the usual question is, did you make that? Did you make it? That's usually what we get asked.
Yeah, because they always associate, well, they're trying to find out. Really, it's just start conversation. A lot of times, it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
did you make that? And then you can start talking to somebody. Or you've got some people that are, I guess you would call them cosplay purists, and want to know, like, are you for real or are you fake cosplaying right now?
Uh, Fake cosplay or like fake geek kind of.
Yeah. So that's a good topic. That's another question I was going to ask you. Since they've started this whole I guess I'll call it pay to play kind of deal with these cosplayers where they hire these hired guns
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes. Has that become like a big deal? Like, are you starting to see these like sponsored cosplayers more and more?
Well, I keep thinking that if a cosplayer can get paid for their costumes, why not? I mean, because we spend so much money making stuff, and if you can get a bit of a kickback from it, unless you meaning more on the lines of they provide costumes, yeah, put it on, promote our product.
Yeah. So like somebody, when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of somebody that basically has no interest in it, but they show up for the job and they say, "Here's your costume, Miss Marvel. Wear
Uh,
this."
oh no, that's like promo girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, no one has an issue with that.
Good
It's kind of
deal.
like they're doing their job. That's no. The issues come when it comes to competitions.
Oh,
That's something else.
tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, some people can get very competitive. I've heard stories. It's like I kind of hear things here and there via the grapevine. But apparently in Joburg, they're extremely competitive. Um, I don't really know what to say because I'm on the judge's end of it, so I don't really get to hear much of the gossip. I just
Okay,
know
so
there is gossip.
so you judge?
Yes, I judge competitions
Oh,
every year.
that's even cooler.
Yeah, because I
That,
personally hate being on stage. I know it's weird. So cosplayers are actually very shy people. It's the weirdest thing.
well, it
Um,
does make a lot of sense though, because if you
yeah,
think about it, they're pretending to be somebody else. So it's kind of like they're putting a mask on and you're able to kind of let loose, and it's
pretty
not
much. Yeah.
really, you're kind of living out a little bit of a fun, a little bit of a fantasy sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much. See, that's the thing. I think cosplay is different for different people. Now, for me, I like, even though it's extremely stressful, I enjoy the creative process because it's a lot of trying to figure things out. Because you always come to a problem and you've got to try and work it out and try and find ways to fix things.
Hmm.
Um, and then once the costume's finished, that's like all your effort. It's like building a puzzle. It's all come together. Whereas a lot of people just want to get to the end and just be that character. For me, it's not about being the character. It's kind of the process to becoming the character. Sounds so cheesy, but that's pretty much what it is for me.
Well, when you say that, it kind of sounds like, have you seen those little Marvel promos that they pop up where they have like a professional cosplayer and they'll uh, show the
Yes,
process of them putting the costume on and everything? They
yeah, yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
That's kind
Because
of like
that's
what you're saying.
pretty much, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, I could see that could be kind of fun. If I did that, I could so see me kind of getting into character, so to speak, because I've always liked that, and I think that would be very fun. Um, so, what has you don't have a favorite, but what are some things that you've cosplayed that you haven't mentioned?
Phew, I have to think. What have I done recently? I did the pro last year. No one knows who the pro is.
No, no, you said that. I was like,
This is like that's the thing. It's like I sometimes choose very obscure characters that nobody knows, and then it's like, yeah. And then when the odd person actually recognizes the character, it's like my day made. Just one person, and then I'm fine. Um, I'm trying to think. What have I done? Oh, I did Bombshell Wonder Woman last year as well.
oh, that's cool.
That was a process on its own because I always have to take the difficult route in making things.
Well, of course.
I actually don't know what I've done recently. Let's see.
Somebody says some cosplayers start beef on Facebook just because some guy is cosplaying as their favorite character. Hmm. Getting a little competitive.
It's what was that again? Some cosplayers started beef on because
They say that somebody's
does
cosplaying their favorite character.
yeah. It can happen. So what happens sometimes? So people they start like a group cosplay of some game, and everyone chips in, and they're gonna cosplay XYZ character. But then they rock up to the convention as someone else rock up as the same character as someone else, and that can cause some problems, even though it's pretty stupid. Because it's inevitable. If you're cosplaying a popular character, someone is going to be that character as well. Like especially like Naruto, for instance, it's extremely popular.
Oh, yeah.
You will always see more than one Naruto or Harley Quinn. That's even better. You will see at least 10 Harley Quinns.
Oh, yeah.
At conventions. It's inevitable.
When Dark Knight came out, I think that's what really kind of set stuff over the top because then for the next I don't know when that movie came out, for like 6 or 7 years, everyone has been Joker and Harley Quinn. And then when Suicide Squad came out, oh my gosh.
Yeah, when Suicide Squad came out, yeah, forget it. Just everything is just Harley Quinn. And also, I think it's also because it's easy. You can actually buy the costumes now. You can buy the wigs, you can buy the jackets, the shoes, the shirts, all the accessories for her outfit.
So I think it's not very much.
I think it's because people don't have to actually make it from scratch anymore, that you can actually buy it. I think that's also why she's become such a popular character to cosplay.
Somebody said that's Hot Topic cosplay.
That as well. Pretty much.
I was never really a big Naruto fan, so when I found out about it later, like years later, I found out there was this huge following cosplay dressing up for Naruto, and I was just like, wow, because apparently it's a really big deal.
Well, I did a Naruto. Well, I didn't cosplay Naruto, but I did cosplay Haku. That was my cosplay. That's the cosplay that I did.
Oh, so that's a good idea bringing that up because you did your little cosplay. I could see more women doing that than men, but just because technically it's easier. I mean, it's easier to change your body to look like.
Not really. Not
oh,
really.
really.
When you got boobs and big hips and big butt to look like a boy, you have to try and figure out ways to hide it.
I could see that because when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of like a slender woman, but I could see that.
I have a friend who she only crossplays. I'm like, what the heck do you do? She has to use chest binders. She has to pad out her shirts, her tops, so she looks bigger in the shoulders. To give her more of like a V taper. There's a lot going on underneath that you don't see.
Wow. So that's a good way to bring that up. So tell us a little bit about what crossplay, not cosplay, what crossplay is.
Okay, so crossplay is cosplaying a character of the opposite gender. That would be a guy.
So that's basically cross-dressing.
So it'll be a guy dressed as a female character or a girl dressed as a male character.
Okay. So I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to ask you questions so that somebody can be like, what? So yeah, that's technically cross-dressing then because you're just dressing up. So what's the difference between a guy dressing up as a female character and then a guy putting a dress on and high heels?
Well, so according to my friend, so obviously I'm not a guy cross dressing or cosplaying or anything. So from his perspective, the way he explained it to me was that he is representing a character. He's not trying to pass as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to pass as this character.
Huh.
I
So
think it
do
makes sense.
these guys typically when they do this kind of thing, because I could see a woman doing it and it not being that big of a deal because women don't care as much about if they look like a man, when they're trying to dress up because they're trying to look like the character. But I could see a guy, if he's trying to dress up like a female character, maybe having some mental obstacles with that. Um, but
No.
when these guys do crossplay and they dress up as female characters, does this have anything to do with like sexual orientation or anything, or are they just playing a part?
Well, they're playing a part. I have a friend or another friend who's also a crossbred, and he's straight. So it's just playing a part. That's all it is.
I just find that so odd. It's just like, how do you comfortably dress up like a female character?
It's
And
just a
it just
character. It's not
and
real life.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's not real life.
Well, it is kind of real life because you're wearing that costume to me.
So
That to me would be considered real life, but
yeah,
um, that's just so funny. And it's not really like dumb or anything. It's just I didn't know about that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
now I'm kind of you've opened me up to this whole new thing. I'm just thinking, whoa, I never even thought about that because of course there's people that do that.
yeah,
There's always people that do that, but I didn't think that it had its own name and people did it all the time,
yeah, yeah.
things like that.
No, I mean because in real life he's just a regular guy, but then for cosplay for his crossplay, that then he goes to a lot more effort to like groom and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow. So he has to like put makeup on.
Everything. I've told him he needs to pad because
Yeah.
he's got a boy body, so he needs to start padding more. But
See, Monster Mandy just said seems like fun. And see, that's what
it
I'm
is
talking
fun.
about. It
But
makes more sense
yeah,
it makes more sense for a woman to want to do that.
yeah, but the female characters have better clothing options, better costume options than guys do. That's why.
Very true, because anime characters, women wise, wear like
Exactly.
15 layered dresses and all this kind of
And a
like
guy wears a uniform, school
yeah.
uniform.
It's usually like a school uniform, or it's almost like a militarized like 1940s 1950s military costume or something.
Exactly.
That's so funny. So when you go to conventions, how many cross players do you think you see?
Not that many.
So it's not like
The good ones,
5 out of every 10.
the good ones you wouldn't even know. So, well, that's the thing with my friends. It's like when I saw him, it's like I didn't even know it was him at first until we spoke to him. It's like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you think about that when you saw him? Like, did you know about crossplay already when you saw him?
Oh yeah, I've known about crossplay since early 2000s.
So what did you think about it when you first heard about it? Did you think, oh, that's cool? Or did you think,
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I don't have any issues with it. That's the thing. It's like in the cosplay community, everyone's very accepting of everything.
Yeah, that's the reason whenever they came out with the whole cosplay is not consent thing, I knew that was disingenuous.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Especially because they're trying to make it as if it's a female-only issue and only women get harassed when it's not like that. Well, not from my experience.
Yeah, I get you. I just don't. Yeah, it's just like it is with comic books and Magic the Gathering and everything else. You get those wrong people in there that don't really like it and they just want to cause a stink. And then it kind of almost ruins it for the rest of the class. It's one of those things like, we're going to stop this because one person did it,
Yeah, we haven't had issues. The issues we've had aren't as bad as that. But usually every time there's a competition, there's a bit of a stink afterwards. There's always people complaining about something. But it's like, me as a judge, I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the hate to come. I'm used to it by now.
Oh, Oni Byrne says, has your dude friends who crossplay ever got hit on?
Yes. So with my one friend, so I actually helped him with his makeup. Now that I think about it, I didn't do a very good job. But he was tall, he was blonde, and there was a guy behind him hitting on him, and then he turned around. He's like, "Yikes!" So yes, it's happened. It was quite
That
funny.
is so funny. It's just, I mean, because if you see them and they're in an elaborate costume, they've got a wig on, there
Yeah.
may be a more slender guy, you may assume that that's a girl.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I would not be able to crossplay because I'm extremely too upper body heavy to be able to pull that off. I think maybe, but it would just look really awkward because then I would just look like a really huge girl. It wouldn't work. It would basically look like if some of these weightlifters or somebody was trying to wear a dress or something.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. But I could say that my brother could definitely do that because he's like 6 foot tall and like 175 pounds. So he's very muscular, but he's very slim
Yeah. Yeah.
and slim in the face. So I think he could probably do that.
Yeah. It's just got to get the padding right.
You got to get all that padding, got to
Yeah.
get the butt in there and get the boobs in
The
there to fix
hips
that up.
and the hips, the
Oh yeah, you
thighs.
got to get the hips. So when somebody crossplays, like you have to buy the costume or you have to make the costume, get all that done. Like, how much padding do they have to put in there? Is it a lot when it comes to being a woman?
Okay, we're getting into like drag queen stuff here.
Oh
So
wow,
I guess it depends on the guy's physique.
yeah,
It's usually padding on the butt and the hips
okay,
to fill that to get that what is it, hourglass shape.
okay.
And then for the
Can you
boobs,
buy
what
that or do you have to make it?
I usually make it. They
Or
use like
even more work?
mattress foam. Let's use mattress foam. They cut it out, and stuff it in tights.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
because then it would kind of form.
yeah, with my friend, what we did was bought him a bra, a very large cup bra,
Uh-huh.
and I think we filled balloons with, I think it was with water. It was very cold. It was also during winter. It worked. It worked. He really large breasts, very large.
That's so funny. That is hilarious because I'm just thinking, um, when we were in high school, they had the what they called the donkey ball games, and you had the guys dress up as the cheerleaders, and you had the girls dress up as the football players.
Okay.
And a lot of times it would be like the jockiest of jocks dressed up as the cheerleaders. So they would pad the tops and all that kind of stuff, but they would not go to the route that you're saying. Like they still
Yeah,
had
yeah.
their hairiness sticking out everywhere.
Oh, you got to
And
groom that. You got to.
oh yeah, that reminds me too. So do these guys, do they wear like pants outfits or do they have to shave their legs?
Shave their legs, their chest, whatever's exposed has to be shaved.
That's crazy. There's so much work to this.
Well, actually, but now thinking. So the other day when I was at gym, so now it's summer here, right? And
Yeah.
the guys there are smoother than I am.
Wow.
They just wax. They will wax. So I think it's pretty normal for guys to be hairless nowadays.
Is that more preferred to what you prefer, Sashi?
No, it's weird.
These smoother men.
No, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
It would be weird to me. Like if I touched a guy's arm and it was shaved, I would be like, "Oh, that's strange."
But you'll find that crossplays, they only do it for the character when they crossplay.
Hmm.
It's not a constant thing. It's not something that they usually do every day of their life. It's
It probably
only when
works better too. Like if you only shave like once a year to do that, then
Yeah.
you're of course it's going to be a lot better.
yeah,
So,
because yeah,
somebody said body hair is problematic.
depends how much of yeah.
Now Panther had a very good idea. He said that you should use fruit for the boobs, so that way if you get hungry during the lunchtime,
And those boobs are gonna shrink during the day.
they're gonna be what's happening. You'd be like, it's so hot in this suit, I'm shrinking.
Well, it's not a
That's
bad idea to
hilarious.
keep snacks in there.
That would be. I'm surprised you don't. I mean, you just put you like a Kellogg's bar in there or something. Just like, okay, snack time, everybody. Everybody's like leaned up against the wall, snacking and smoking.
Yeah, it's just grabbing the boobs. It's like harassment. Like, no,
Exactly. Like,
no, I'm
harassment.
eating.
No, I was trying to get a snack from there. It's hilarious. Um, I think, let's see, I think that's pretty much all my questions here. I'm going to see if there is another one that I was going to ask you. We've talked about the harassment. That was the main problem. And then we talked about the crossplay. That was actually really fun. Um,
Yeah, you didn't even know about that.
I didn't know about it. When you brought that up on Twitter, I was like, "You're kidding me right now," because I had this horror images go through my mind of like these cross-dressing guys and everything. And I was like, "No, no, 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 no,"
But it's
because
extremely popular for girls to crossplay anime boys. Because all these yaoi animes that are out,
mhm.
they
Oh,
love
you just
it.
said a trigger word now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're gonna start seeing all these yaoi guys showing up in the chat now.
Oops.
There's a friend of mine on Twitter. I don't know if you follow her too, but it's Black Pixel Girl.
Yeah,
She's extremely into the yaoi stuff, and
a
it's
lot of young girls are. I have never been. I've never had any interest in it. So
good.
I once I don't know the little boys getting it on. I'm just like
Yeah.
So, I did read one quite a while back. Man, I tried. I'm like, let's give this a try. This doesn't look bad. The men in it look like grown men.
Uh-huh.
It's called Fake. It was okay. I think I read like 3 issues, but it didn't really grab me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've
Well,
never
you're
been
not built
into it.
that way, apparently.
Yeah, because I know a lot of girls in the cosplay community. They love that stuff. They love it.
That's so
And
funny too. I don't see it. I don't get it because you're not
I,
involved.
yeah, I don't understand it, but yeah,
That's funny.
it's very popular.
Huh, that could be a discussion for another time. We're going to talk about, or today we're going to talk about yaoi. What is yaoi? And then we're going to say, Sasha, you take the floor.
Me, what?
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
when a
Well, you
boy and a
see,
boy.
when two effeminate boys,
No, it's usually
like
a
each
boy and
other.
then another boy, and then there's that other boy over there, and then that one. Yeah, then they all come together.
Ooh. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. I hope everybody in the comments has enjoyed it, and it's kind of let everybody know more about cosplay because, like I said, there may be people out there that's always been interested, but they just don't know. And I mean, you're just not going to go to start asking a cosplayer like tons of questions.
Well, that's the thing. You can nowadays. So if you're like an absolute newbie, you can go to cosplay.com. Just sign up there. They've got forums, and it's so easy to get into it now because, well, especially in America, because stuff's available. This
Okay.
everything's available online now. I mean, even costumes. There's places that actually they design superhero costumes. They design the prints for the costume. I'm not sure what the site's name is. I've seen people with the printed costumes, but they supply the print, but you just have to get it actually printed out on fabric, cut it out, and sew it.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing actually because it's got like all the shaded, like you'd see in the comics, all the shaded details and
It makes you look
everything.
like cut, like really ripped.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen that. Like the professional cosplayers will be on Instagram and stuff, and it
Yeah.
makes them look extremely fit. And it really fools your eyes.
Exactly. It creates quite an illusion. But yeah, so stuff like that's all available. There's so much available now. It's really not that difficult getting into it. Well, I think the toughest part for a lot of people is choosing a character and sticking to
Yeah,
that character.
because you want to do everything. When you get into it, you're just like it opens a door.
That's the problem. It's like, oh, I want to cosplay that character, and that one, and that one. And before you've even finished one, then you want to start another one. But I've always said start small because because people tend to get a bit ahead of themselves. They try and go way too big too quickly. Kind of like just get your feet wet. Just start with a simple character, and then progress from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's something that'll kind of help some people out there.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Welcome, Anthony. Now that we're getting off here, part one is going to be put up though, so you'll be able to listen to it. We had a little bit of technology issues, so when we got back, it fixed itself. Yeah, that's right. America is home to AR-15s and freedom. You're right, and waffles. Um, but okay, guys, I hope you've all had fun. If you want to say bye to Sashi, and then we're going to get off here and enjoy the rest of our day. Sashi's probably almost ready to go to bed, and then I'm getting
Not
up.
that late.
But we'll talk to you guys later. I hope y'all had fun. I hope this was informative and also enjoying. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.